Hello students. Welcome to Rashmi's classes.
Insert solutions for Class 11 Biology. Chapter 5 Morphology of Flowering Plants. What is meant by modification of root? What type of modification of root is found in A. Banyan tree, B. Turnip, C. Mangrove trees? Answer. Many plants modify their roots and cause them to perform functions other than absorption and conductivity. This can occur as a result of a change in shape or structure. The root is modified in this way. Plants with modified roots are described below. Banyan tree. Banyan trees are known for their prop roots. The tree is supported by these massive roots that are pillar-like. Turnip. Turnips get their root modified so they can store food. Mangrove trees. Mangroves and other swamp trees grow from vertical roots that grow upward from the ground. The roots of such plants help obtain oxygen for respiration by being pneumatophores. Justify the following statements on the basis of external features. Underground parts of a plant are not always root. Answer. The stems, leaves, and even fruits of plants are modified into underground structures in order to fulfill various functions. During the storage of food, the stems of ginger and bananas become swollen and underground. In botanical terms, these are called rhizomes. Similarly, colocasia and zamenkund have underground stems, called corms. Potato tubers are formed when the tip of the underground stem swells up from accumulation of food. Tubers have eyes that are subtended by leaf scars. Due to the accumulation of food, onions' base leaves become fleshy. Peanut flowers grow a flower stalk after fertilization, pushing the flower into the soil. During fruit and seed formation, the soil also plays a role. Flower is a modified shoot. Answer. The floral meristem develops from the apical meristem during the flowering period. In the stem, the internodes are close together, while the axis is condensed. The node produces floral appendages instead of leaves. A flower is considered to be a modified shoot because it is modified. How is pinnately compound leaf different from palmately compound leaf? Answer. Pinnately compound leaf. Palmately compound leaf. Leaflets form a compound leaf when they are attached to a common axis, called the rachis. A common point on the leaf stalk connects the leaflets. Neem and cassia fistula, also known as golden shower plant, are examples. Silk cotton bombax and cannabis are examples. Explain with suitable examples the different types of phyllotaxy. Answer. The arrangement or pattern of leaves on a stem or branch is called phyllotaxy. Phyllotaxy is categorized as alternate, opposite, and whorled. A single leaf emerges from the node of an alternate phyllotaxy plant. Plants such as sunflowers, mustard, and peepal exhibit phyllotaxy. Phyllotaxy, or opposite leaf growth, occurs when two leaves emerge oppositely from the node. In plants like guavas and jamons, it is found. The leaves of whorled plants arise from a node that has 3 or more leaves. It can be found in Elstonia. Define the following terms. Estivation. Placentation. Actinomorphic. Zygomorphic. Superior ovary. Perigynous flower. Epipetalous stamen. Answer. A. Estivation. Estivation describes the arrangement of sepals or petals within a flower bud relative to other members. In plants, estivation consists of 4 types: valvate, twisted imbricate, and vexillary. B. Placentation. The placentation of ovules in an ovary has been commonly termed placentation. There are 5 basic types of interdigital structures: marginal, basal, parietal, axile, and free central. C. Actinomorphic. A radial plane passing through the center of a filamentous flower can divide it in 2. Chili and mustard are examples of these flowers. Zoomorphic. These flowers share a common vertical axis that divides them into 2 similar halves. In other words, zygomorphic flowers have bilateral symmetry. Peas and Beancer are examples. Superior ovary. Those flowers with the gynoecium at the top and other floral parts below are referred to as superior ovary flowers. It is called hypogynous when it has this arrangement. Brindle and mustard are 2 examples. Perigynous flower. The thalamus of perigynous flowers forms a cup-shaped structure, and floral parts grow from the cup's rim. A condition where the ovary is in half superior, half inferior, is described as this. Plums and roses are examples of this. Epipetalous stamen, stamen with petals attached to them. Brinjal is a good source of them. Differentiate between racemose and cymose inflorescence. Answer: racemose inflorescence. Cymose inflorescence. Young flowers are arranged at the tip. The inflorescence is composed of this inflorescence, while older. Younger flowers at the base and older. Flowers are positioned at the base. Flowers at the top. Such an acropoidal succession describes such a arrangement is called basipetal. Process. Succession. Racemose inflorescences produce the main axis in the cymose. Flowers lateral to their main axis. Inflorescence grows slowly and later matures into a flower. Fibrous roots and adventitious roots. Answer: fibrous root. Adventitious root. The primary root of a monocot develops quickly and is replaced by numerous small roots that appear at the stem's base. They are not rooted in the radicle of seeds, but in any part of the plant. It belongs to the family Poaceae and is characteristic of cereals like wheat. It can be found in banyan trees and monstera plants. Apocarpus and syncarpus ovary. Answer: Apocarpus ovary. Syncarpus ovary. There are multiple carpels in this type of ovary. Carpels fused in a multicarpellary condition. Lotus flowers and roses have it. Mustard and tomato flowers contain this chemical. Draw the labeled diagram of the following: I. gram seed, 2. ds of maize seed. Answer: describe modifications of stem with suitable examples. Answer: numerous plants have undergone modifications that affect the way their stems function. Underground stems or storage stems. A rhizome, corm, or tuber is an example of a tuber. Rhizomes are underground stems of ginger and banana. Colocasia, RV, refers to the underground stem. Rhizomes and corms of underground shrubs store food. Moreover, the stems facilitate vegetative reproduction. Potatoes serve as both a food storage plant as well as a guardian plant. These axle-like buds develop into new plants when they are covered with leaves. Supportive stems. Tendril, for instance. Tendrils are thin, spirally coiled structures found on the stems of some weak plants that help them mount nearby supports. In the family of Cucurbitaceae, cucumbers, melons, and others have tendrils. Protective stems. Thorns, for example, bougainvilleas and citrus plants, like lemons and oranges, have pointed stems known as thorns, which protect the plant from herbivores. Photosynthetic stems. Opuntia, for instance, opuntias have green stems. In the absence of leaves, it performs photosynthesis. Modifications to other stems. Plants like grasses have underground stems that help them grow in the soil. Runners are stems like these. Plants of some aquatic families, such as Eichhornia, have short lateral stems, called offsets, that bear roots and produce new plants. Take one flower each of the families Fabaceae and Solanaceae and write its semi-technical description. Also draw their floral diagrams after studying them. Answer. Family Fabaceae/Papilionaceae, pea plant. The Leguminosae family includes the subfamily Fabaceae/Papilionaceae. Vegetative features: pinnately compound leaves with leaf tendrils along foliaceous stipules. The pulvinus is located at the base of the leaves. The root system is composed of taproots and root nodules. Floral features: inflorescence, racemose, generally axial, seldom terminal. Estivation is imbricate, while the calyx has 5 gamosepalous sepals. Corolla, polypetalous, 5 petals, with an estivated vexillary edge. Androecium, the 10 anthers have diadelphous and dithecous lobes. Gynoecium, a unilocular superior ovary with a monocarpellary ovary within. Fruit, a bean pod not containing endosperm. Floral formula. Economic importance: peas are used as vegetables for making various culinary preparations. Flowers of Solanum nigrum family Solanaceae. Vegetative features. Habit: a herbaceous, upright plant. The leaves are simple, exstipulate, and reticulately venous. Stem, a tall, branched stem. Floral features: inflorescence, axillary and solitary flowers, sexually dimorphic actinomorphic flowers. Calyx: the calyx consists of 5 sepals that are united and persistent. Estivation is a valvate. Corolla: the corolla has 5 petals united by a valvate estivation. Androecium: the epipetalous stamens of the anthoeciums. Gynoecium: it is composed of a bicarpellary syncarpous superior ovary with an axile placentation. Fruits: berry. Seeds: numerous, endospermous. Floral formula. Economic importance: used for medicinal purposes. Describe the various types of placentations found in flowering plants. Answer: an ovary's placentation refers to the position of the ovules. It is categorized into 5 basic categories. Marginal placentation. A marginal placenta develops along the ventral suture of the ovary, and the ovules are formed in 2 rows to separate the placenta from the ovules. The placentation of peas is of this type. Parietal placentation. The ovary is said to have parietal placentation when the ovules develop on the inner wall of the ovary. Axile placentation. Axile placentation is characterized by an axile placenta attached to ovules. Tomatoes, lemons, and China roses are examples. Basal placentation. Having basal placentation is when the placenta grows from the base of the ovary and an ovule is found attached to it. Marigold and sunflower are a few examples. Placentation in the center. Placentation without septa is characterized by ovules developing on the center axis, while septa are absent. This type of placentation is common in dianthus and primrose. What is a flower? Describe the parts of a typical angiosperm flower. Answer: flowering plants, angiosperms, have flowers as their reproductive unit. Angiosperms reproduce sexually through flowers. Flowers are usually modified stems with condensed axes. There are 4 concentric lobes on a flower. Calyxes, corollas, androeciums, and gynoeciums make up the 4 whorls of the flower, from outside to inside. On flowers, the androecium represents the male reproductive whorl and the gynoecium represents the female reproductive whorl. An example of a bisexual flower is one with both androecium and gynoecium, while a unisexual flower only has gynoecium. There is usually a distinct corolla and calyx, but they can be fused, called perianth. All 4 parts of a flower are known as a complete flower. Calyx. The calyx is made up of sepals in the outer whorl of the flower. At the bud stage, they serve as a protective covering. An open flower sepals are known as polysepalous, whereas flowers with fusions of sepals are known as gamosepalous. In addition to being photosynthetic, sepals are also green in color. Corolla. The flower whorl is the part of the flower that lies toward the inner side of the calyx. Individual petals of the corolla are brightly colored and help attract insects for pollination. The condition in which the petals are fused is called gamosepalous, and the condition with free petals is known as polypetalous. An androecium or stamen is a yellow or red-shaped male reproductive organ. A filament and a bilobed anther constitute the filament. Anthers' bilobes produce pollen grain and undergo meiosis. One connective connects the 2 anther lobes. The gynoecium represents the female reproductive branch of a flower. A female ovary is present in the body. An ovary is connected to the stigma via a long tube, called a style. Numerous ovules form an attachment to the placenta at the ovary. How do the various leaf modification help plants? Answer: leaf leaves are primarily responsible for photosynthesis. Some plants, however, have modified leaves that can perform other functions, such as storing water. The following is a list of various leaf modifications. Tendrils. Peas have modified leaves into tendrils that allow them to climb. Spines. Cacti contain sharp spines on their leaves as a defense mechanism. Phyllodes. Some species of Australian acacia produce short-lived leaves that are replaced by flattened green structures known as phyllodes on top of the petiole. They synthesize food with the petioles of their leaves. Pitcher. The pitcher plant, Nepenthes cassiana, has modified leaves that resemble pitchers and contain digestive juices that trap and digest insects. Define the term inflorescence. Explain the basis for the different types of inflorescence in flowering plants. Answer: floral inflorescences are arranged along a floral axis. Vegetative apexes of stems are tearanciformed into floral meristems during the blooming season. A racemose or cymose inflorescence is classified based on whether or not the floral axis continues. Racemose inflorescences have a growing floral axis that produces side-by-side flowers. Unlike cymose inflorescences end in a flower. It therefore has a limited growth potential. Write the floral formula of an actinomorphic bisexual, hypogynous flower with 5 united sepals, 5 free petals, 5 free stamens and 2 united carpels with superior ovary and axile placentation. Answer. In floral terms, the described flower has the following formula. The symbol of an actinomorphic flower is. Bisexual flowers are characterized by. As the calyx consists of 5 united sepals, it can be expressed as K5. A free petal is represented by C5 in the corolla. There are 5 stamens free on the androecium and the A5 represents those stamens. In the gynoecium, there are 2 joined carpels with axile placentation, which can be characterized as G2. Describe the arrangement of floral members in relation to their insertion on thalamus. Answer. A flower is described as hypogynous, perigynous, or epigynous, depending on the position of its calyx, corolla, and androecium, relative to the ovary. Hypogynous flowers possess an ovary positioned at the top of the thalamus, while other floral parts sit below. The ovary is located on the rim of the thalamus in perigynous flowers, while in China roses, mustards, etc., the ovary is situated toward the middle. Plum, rose, peach, etc., are examples of ovary half-inferiors. The thalamus surrounds the ovary in epigynous flowers and forms a fusion with its wall. Above the ovary, there is another group of floral parts. In flowers of guava and cucumber, the ovary is considered inferior. Thanks for the watching. Please do like, share, and subscribe.